Welcome to all of you for the holistic lifestyle. For the part of holistic lifestyle, today we will learn about the glucose in the physical body. So, what is the glucose importance in the physical body? How do we control that? What is the control we need to have in day-to-day life? So, let's understand the more details about glucose in the body. So, that's a topic for holistic lifestyle, my dear friends. So when you try to understand glucose in the physical body, my dear friends, how do we get this glucose first of all? The plants prepare this glucose by the way of photosynthesis. They absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They absorb the water from the ground. They take sunlight. With all these three, they prepare something through photosynthesis. They prepare the something called glucose. That means the particular glucose will be generated. So this glucose will be generated by the plants in that process, my dear friends. So whatever they generate, this glucose, especially in the trees which is prepared. So the glucose is produced by the plants, so in the form of carbohydrates, fiber, proteins. Basically, the glucose which is prepared by trees and plants, what do? Human being go and consume all the plants, the different plants and different vegetables, right? All these things. When we eat like that, in the form of carbohydrates, in the form of fiber, in the form of the proteins, we get this glucose. Okay, so the glucose will be consumed by we will be consuming all these things. So with the help of the glucose, basically the help of the glucose, what is prepared within the tree, so it is going to provide all the carbohydrates, all the fiber, all the proteins. Now human being is going to consume the plant-based food. When the human being consume this plant-based food, what will happen? These carbohydrates, fiber, proteins, rice, millets, whatever you eat. So with everything, whatever you eat, what will happen is these things will be digested in your inside the stomach. When you eat all these things, what will happen? Any grains, any vegetables, any fruits, pulses, oils, whatever it may be, you'll be digesting them. When you digest them, what will happen is at the end of the digestion, one thing comes out is called energy, which is called glucose. The glucose will be whatever the glucose generated out of what you eat, that glucose will be mixed in the blood. That will go into the blood, my dear friends. So the amount of glucose which goes into the blood, especially, it all depends upon what you eat on that particular day or on that particular time. If you eat rice, white rice, what happens? In the white rice, we have only carbohydrates, we have no fiber component. And especially, of course, white rice is having a lot of, as I explained yesterday, we have a lot of chemicals are there within them. So which is not required, which is not good for us. So whatever you eat, if you eat white rice, so most of the carbohydrates, less of the fiber, then what will happen is once it is digested, within 20-30 minutes after consumption of the white rice, suddenly the glucose will be hiked or spiked within your blood, my dear friends. That happens like this. So that is why what happened. So in the the view of controlling the glucose or the slow release of glucose into the blood is more important. Okay, so what is the cause for all the diseases, my dear friends? The reason is the excessive presence of the glucose, the excessive presence of the energy, glucose in the blood is the main root cause for all the kind of diseases in the physical body. Right from the diabetes, heart problems, cancer, IBP, everything, all these problems are because of the excessive presence of the glucose energy within your blood. How it's happening? See, what are our habits? We eat white rice more. We eat godi, chapati. We try to eat lot of sweets which are made of sugar, white sugar. So likewise, all these things you are taking. Whatever you take, all these things from these, what will happen is the moment you eat them, they get digested. They produce lot of something called glucose. Excessive glucose will come. Let's say what will happen is you take one Pepsi or Coca-Cola, right? When you drink that soft drink, what will happen? It has got 150 to 200 grams of sugar. So what will happen? The moment you drink, it goes inside. Immediately, the inside your blood, the glucose energy will be spiked up. So spiked up by 150 to 200 grams. Now that is where the difficulty. So what happens, friends? So these are some facts, scientific facts we need to understand. A human being, an average having 5 to 6 liters of the blood. For 1 liter of the blood, 1 gram of glucose is required. Is sufficient in order to supply to all the organs of the body. In order to have the effective functioning of your physical body. So what you need is, you need 1 gram of glucose is required. 1 gram of the glucose which you need. And that means 5 grams to 6 grams of glucose is sufficient to run the physical body on a given time. That means 5 to 6 grams. Now, anything excess of this 5 to 6 grams or anything less than this 5 to 6 grams, that makes a difference in the health of the physical body. So in case you have less than 5 grams of glucose energy within your physical body, maybe 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, what happens is you feel weaker. You have no energy inside. Of course, so that will not happen because the kind of food what you are eating nowadays, always it supplies more and more glucose into the blood. Now, most of the problems are coming with the excessive glucose energy. So how does it happen? Excessive glucose energy. As I give an example, suddenly you take a sweet made up of sugar or otherwise a soft drink, something you take. What will happen? Many of the people nowadays, so they have a habit of drinking tea, drinking coffee, milk-based coffee, tea with a lot of sugar. They do that every day, morning, bed coffee, bed tea, all this they do. What will happen? Along with your food, what you're taking, already you're taking white rice and you're taking a lot of vegetables. Okay, vegetables, rice, white rice, all these things, even chapati, they produce a lot of carbohydrates. Out of that, lot of glucose will be generated, glucose will be hiked up in the blood. Along with that, suddenly you are pumping in the kind of tea, coffee, and soft drinks, then it will also give an additional glucose into the blood. Now, at this point of time, what will happen, friends? 150 grams, 200 grams of glucose present in your blood is going to make a lot of difference and huge difference, wherein your physical body have no mechanism to digest or to spend that amount of energy. When do you spend this kind of energy, my dear friends? If you want to spend 1 gram of glucose you want to burn, you have to walk for 15 minutes. If you want to burn about 5 to 6 grams on average, a normal glucose level present in a healthy person, you want to burn that, you need 75 minutes. Now, if you want to burn this excessive amount of 150 grams because of your bad habits, bad food habits, the bad lifestyle, the excessive glucose is present in your physical body of 150 grams, you want to burn that, you need 30 hours to walk. You need to walk for 30 hours. That's how what happens is many people nowadays, in the modern days, they eat whatever they wanted. They go to the gym in order to burn it. You don't need to do all that. If you have a control over the food what you take, the kind of food what you take, you don't need to put a lot of exertion, lot of pressure on your physical body in order to spend the calories. Not required. It's all unnecessary. What we are doing. Friends, so a simple walking, a simple jogging. Anything below 30-40 years, jogging is best. Above 30 years, above 35-40 years, a simple brisk walking is more than enough to take care of all the whatever the calories you want to spend, you can spend. But only thing is your input must be proper. Not like so after going walk and then come back, then have a nice tea or nice coffee. Then how much sugar will go inside to you? How much glucose will be jumped up in your blood itself? So this is going to be a problem, my dear friends. Now, this excessive, so it is impossible to walk for 30 to 40 hours to spend or to burn this amount of 150 grams of glucose, excessive glucose in the physical body. Now, what will happen is the liver, especially the liver has got a functionality of the so-called purifying the blood. Instead of doing its functions, it will keep all that away. Then liver gets confused. Why is so much inflow of the glucose energy is coming inside. What should I do with all these things? Then what will happen is it starts converting all the excessive glucose in the form of fat, in the form of triglycerides, in the form of glucose. Now, by converting into all this, it go on paste in the different parts of the body, even in the arteries of in the veins of the heart, in the arteries, and in all the blood vessels, and in the sides, on the hip and everywhere, on the thighs, everywhere, this excessive amount of fat will be pasted. It will be accumulated. That's how you become obese. You become a obese. That means you get a obesity problems. So this is how, my dear friends, what happens is the excessive glucose, it makes a lot of difference. It gives a lot of bad consequences for your physical body. What will happen? Other thing, your blood become thicker and you get some heart problems. High BP comes, high BP. Because the excessive glucose will go on paste in the arteries of the veins. All these veins, arteries, everywhere it will be pasted inside the walls. Now, this is a problematic. At the same time, your blood will become acidic in nature, my dear friends. Your entire blood get converted into acidic environment. Then what will happen inside the stomach? The good microbes or gut bacteria, what you call the best bacteria, positive bacteria, gut bacteria will get die. When it gets died, what happened? So your the digestion capability will be completely gone. Your immunity power will be reduced. So that is the way, what's happening is there are so many disadvantages of this excessive glucose in the physical body. Glucose must be controlled properly. How do you do that? Eat the food, the main, as in the place of rice, white godi, all these things, just replace with the siridhanya or millets. Sajje roti, that is, so bajra, ragi, right? So all the other millets. Then comes to java godi, jole rote, right? So all these things, if you replace with this food, then what will happen is the release of the glucose into the physical blood, what will happen is it becomes slower and slower. Then what will happen? The sudden jump in the glucose will not happen. Then your health will be always perfect. Friends, with all these things, what will happen is, let me tell you, today, nowadays, in the modern world, you find even the students, even the youngsters are finding type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, all these things are happening. Why it's all this is happening? Even the World Health Organization is telling India is heading towards the diabetic capital of the world. Is it the great statement? Is the proud of our country? It's not so. We need to understand what is the science of the food. We need to consume as per the science of the food. We don't have any science background on the food what we take, right? Whatever it comes, we are taking. You just go and eat one pizza, burger, all these things. How much content of these carbohydrates comes into your body? That's all. Whatever the outside fast food, everything what they make out of maida. They make out of all this, the so-called godi. So godi is used widely in that. So that's how what happened, all that will be converted to excessive glucose in your physical body. So that is why, so take care of your food input, what you have to achieve, you have to think and take the food, or whatever we discussed now. So try to replace the white rice, all these things, with the help of this particular food, millets, especially, friends. You'll be coming out of this excessive glucose. You never get a diabetic, you never get any heart issues, high BP, all these things slowly will come out of it. So when the amount of glucose reduced, the excessive glucose is not there, what will happen is your blood also becomes alkaline in nature. When it becomes alkaline in nature, no disease will come. If any disease comes also, it will be gone. Any disease comes also, it will be automatically corrected. Your own system, your own inner doctor is there. Who is the inner doctor? Immunity power. Immunity power, your own immunity power is the inner doctor. He will rectify everything, provided you have a alkaline environment within your physical body. So with the alkaline environment in the physical body, all the cells of the physical body will be healthy. If it is an acidic environment, acidic blood, if it is flowing through your physical body, so many cells will die, my dear friends. So when so many cells will die, they form as a tumor. All these tumors will get converted into all the fibroids, tumors. They get converted more on slowly get into cancerous boils. It happens like this. So that is why there are so many disadvantages of this glucose, my dear friends. Be careful. Be careful of what input you are giving to physical body. Then you will come out of this issue, my dear friends.